Greetings, Noble Templar. Today I have a draft video for you. I know it sounds kind of weird. I haven't actually participated in any leagues until today. Well, you know what I mean. I haven't actually signed up for any leagues until recently. And it's my pleasure to announce the formation of the Nebraska Neuverns. We are, um, well, excited to be part of a Pokemon League. The one thing I have to admit is, one, I've never been in a league, and two, it is a doubles league, which is by easily, hands down, probably the worst meta I have. I mean, I'd probably do better in triples. That's how bad I am at doubles. Anyway, let's get into the actual roster of the Nebraska Neuverns. Starting off the roster is Mega Diancie. It has Magic Bounce, which was the big draw for me on Diancie there because of that ability, plus the 110 speed really will come in handy. Good defensive stats. Only problem Mega Diancie really has is it just dies to steel attacks. Which brings us to our next choice, Heatran. There are a lot of fire types and there are a lot of steel types in this league. Heatran is well equipped to take both those on. With Flash Fire, it'll force people to think twice before they go for a Fire Blast or Heat Wave or whatever, because the threat of getting hit by a Magma Storm or whatever will be pretty high. Downside is it's really weak to ground, so that's a thing. I might give an Air Balloon on a battle against, say, someone with Charizard X, just as some thoughts. Anyway, moving on. Next was Dragonite. Admittedly, if I had chosen today, I probably wouldn't have drafted Dragonite, but it could be a nice cleric with like Heal Bell and Haze and stuff like that. It also has a decent special attack, so I could like spam Blizzard or Surf. So it's going to be kind of a niche Pokemon for me, but it could pull out some really nasty surprises to do some good work. So yeah, Dragonite, not my best choice, but could do some work in the right situations. Next, after the OU tier, we started getting to UU, and I chose Mamoswine as my first draft pick, and what a good choice that was. Has good bulk with 110 base HP, and Ice Shard, and so forth. I might run a Choice Scarf variant with like Icicle Crash and stuff, so it may be a big threat in a lot of games. I'll probably bring it more often than not just because it has that nice, beautiful dual stab. Moving on, though, next was Heracross. Heracross is going to be kind of like Dragonite, where it's more of a tactical decision, and I may run like a Guts or a Moxie variant depending on the situation. If I need like a late game cleaner, I might grab the Moxie variant. Most of the time, I'll probably grab Guts with like an Assault Vest or something. But yeah, it's a thought. The last UU Pokemon I nabbed was Zapdos. And why I chose Zapdos was because I wanted a powerful electric type that also had immunity to flying, that had good, just general stats all around, and enough power to lay some threats. Plus, with Heat Wave, Zapdos does carry the fire and the electric, which is nice coverage. So, yeah, it's a nice Pokemon, and will probably do a lot of work for me. Next is Typhlosion. Typhlosion is another one of my more tactical decision Pokemon. If I'm expecting to see a lot of fire types, I may bring it so I can abuse Flash Fire, or if I think that I can just run over a team late game with Choice Scarf Eruption or something. So that'll be more of a tactical decision for me. Kind of depends on what the teams are, but in some late game situations, Typhlosion will do a lot of work for me. Next, Amoonguss. This was my last UU choice, and Amoonguss is, as you can expect, a royal pain in the neck for people to deal with high HP and generally decent stats all around except for speed. Also, with the ability of Regenerator, it can do a lot of work. Now, as doubles, I might actually switch for Effect Spore in some situations just because you don't do quite as much switching in doubles, but you never know. You can get some life back in a key situation where you need to switch, predicting like a fire attack or something. So it's also acts as kind of bait for people to go for a fire attack, and so I got some mobility there. And then Spore, just really nice utility in Amoonguss. Next is a Mega Steelix. Now, This is my other Mega. I only chose two because, quite frankly, you can only bring one at a time. And most of the time, I'm probably going to want to have Mega Diancie. But in the situation that Mega Diancie would just get destroyed, like, say, Scissor was prowling around, Mega Steelix is a nice alternative with a great base 125 attack, gargantuan 230 defense, and then decent 95 special defense. I don't think Sandforce is really going to come into play, but if it does, it could make Mega Steelix hit incredibly hard. I'll probably use it more as a defensive sponge and pivot switch more than anything, but you never know. It could do some good work. It may even set up rocks, I don't know, even though rocks aren't really that good in doubles. Next is Wheezing. I needed a physical tank that didn't have to rely on Megastone, so it had some residual recovery. And the fact that it has Levitate really does help out. That base 120 defense stat, really handy, plus it gets access to Will-O-Wisp and so forth and so on. I probably won't use Will-O-Wisp all the time, especially if I'm going up against a lot of fire types, but it does get Haze, Sludge Bomb, and it can do some work. So that's kind of why I chose it as my first NU pick, followed by Hitmonchan. A lot of people really underestimate Hitmonchan. It does get Iron Fist, so its punching attacks are boosted. Sure, 105 is not the best attack stat to abuse, but it can do some work, and it does get Stab Mach Punch with Iron Fist boosts, so in the right hands, Hitmonchan can do a lot of work, and it does have a surprisingly nice special defense in 110. Its defensive stat is almost 80 at 79, so not the worst defenses, only 50 HP though, so. But it can do some work in the right hands, and so I chose it just so I could have the tactical elemental punches and switch them around as I need, and basically kind of a catch that comes out of NU and you don't really expect it to do a lot, but it can do some work. But last and not least is Xatu. And as you might have been able to predict, Magic Bounce is the name of the game for it. In the cases that I can't use Mega Diancie, but I really don't want to have to worry about entry hazards or burns or whatever, Xatu will probably see some use. And Magic Bounce just really coming in handy and making my job a lot easier on dealing with things. So that's kind of the team make, and we'll have to see how it works. Anyway, I will see you guys next time.